literally too early for this, guys. Just did a cool little transition. Camera, for whatever reason, didn't want to record it. I've just had my pre-workout. It's the Bangarang from More Formula. If you use code BEST, you get 10% off. 400 milligrams of caffeine. Just had some creatine tablets. Powders run out. And I also just had some of the protein shake you guys saw me make. I'm gonna make my way to the gym. I'll catch you on the next part. Okay, so yeah, this was the session where I was pretty much working towards my opening weight on the squat, bench, and deadlift. Started off with the squat. I was focusing on making sure that I'm locking my knees out and making sure that I get depth even from my warm-ups. I started off with the bar, obviously a plate, 70 kg, and then 120, as you can see here. These are pretty much all my working sets that you're going to be seeing for all the lifts. So if that's something you're interested in, keep watching. As you can see, as I was building up through the weights, it was still moving fairly easily, moving nice. 150 wasn't too much work, and obviously 170, I only did it for 1 rep with the command, as you can see here. So that was the down command, up command, and then you have the rack command as well when you squat. And I was just trying to make sure that I get in as much practice in preparation for comp day, which is coming up. This was 200 once again with some commands. Down command, as you see there, and then rack command, as you can see there. And I was just trying to make sure that I was sticking with it. This was 210, as you guys can see here. With 210 or 220 even, with 220 it was one of those, I made sure that I was listening out to the commands, trying to keep it as perfect as possible. And then 235 was what I decided would be my opener. As you can see here, I was positioning myself, listening out to the commands, and as you see, it moved fairly nicely. I don't really think I tried to open up the ground beneath me as well as I should have done. That should have moved way easier than that, but hopefully comp day it will be nice. Onto the bench press, as you can see here, started off light, started with the bar before this actually, and I was just trying to make sure that my form was there. Here I wasn't locking out my elbows as much as I should have done, which is something I then fixed with this. As you can see, if you look at my elbows, they're a lot more locked out on this. 100 kg was moving nicely, and I noticed when I actually lock out my elbows, I can move the weight a lot better than I usually move it, which kind of got me excited to see how the session would go and also how things would turn out in competition. Here with 120 once again was moving like butter, very easily, not too much stressed. Fought through, made it work, made it move, no complaints there. And with 140, I only decided to go with 1 rep here. I was mainly focusing on making sure that I lock out the weight. As you can see, elbows were locked out, it moved nicely. And then this is what I decided would be my opener, 150. As you can see, just like the 140 before it, paused, elbows locked out, not too much trouble. And I was very happy with that. So it's kind of looking good so far. The deadlift was something I was kind of dreading a little bit, but I know for a fact on comp day, this is probably going to be one of my best lifts. It'll probably be the best lift I ever do in comp. But I started off warming up, obviously with the 70 kg, as you can see there. I was focusing on pretty much engaging my glutes and kind of like thrusting into the bar just to make sure that those glutes are engaged. Because one thing I've noticed with me when I'm training deadlift, the weight comes really quick off the ground, but then it slows up as it gets to the top, as you go on to see. Obviously, as I was building up with the weights, 120, as you can see there, it was moving fairly quickly. I was just trying to make sure that my glutes are always engaged, because I feel like that's one of those things that once it starts moving how it should do, and I can engage them fully, my numbers will fly on this. As you can see here, 160, pretty sure I did 3 reps of this. It was moving fairly nicely, you know, for a warm up. I was trying to take my time as well, so I'm not draining myself too much, and I'm also dead stopping and starting each rep. So instead of 3 continuous reps, 3 separate reps, if that makes sense. And yeah, I was just trying to make sure the lats were engaged as well, and that I was controlling the weight nicely. 200 is where it got a little bit more interesting. I just wanted to feel out the weight, and I wanted to make sure I could be as tight as possible. As you can see, that moved up very quickly off the ground. At the top, it wasn't too bad, but could have been better. 210, as you can see here, off the ground, the weights always move quick. It's just that top bit where the glutes get engaged. With a 225, as you can see, off the ground, it was quick. Just the top bit, so I decided to do it again because, you know, I didn't like how that one felt, and obviously as an opener I wanted it to be solid. As you're going to see here, this one moved, I would say, a little better than the first one, and this is what I decided would be my opener for the day. With the deadlifts, it's one of those things where I've noticed since I've kind of transitioned to calibrated plates as well as a comp bar, I struggled to bring my strength across, but I feel like the more I get used to it, the stronger I'm gonna get. I think the most I pulled with calibrated plates and a comp bar was 250 just out of nowhere. So I'm hoping as a minimum on comp day, we can pull out the 250 and obviously get a good total at my first comp. And yeah, I'll pass it over to me. These were my thoughts after I finished lifting. Okay, so yeah, I finished with the session now. It was pretty intense, but I've got a rough idea of what my openers should be. So squat, I should be opening at 235 kgs, bench 150, deadlift 225 kg. I'm a little bit disappointed with the deadlift, but they've been hit and miss recently. So the aim is going to be to obviously just get a good start and hopefully start off with a win on my first competition. I can always look to improve my total in the future, but yeah, this has all been a learning experience. Equipment wise, in this video I was using a Strength Shop belt, I was using an A7 singlet, Strength Shop socks, as well as Strength Shop slippers for the deadlift. So if you guys are interested in getting any of those things, they'll be linked down in the description. I'll probably be doing reviews of all these things at a later date. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.